In the headlines, government of Russia offers Dominica its hand in helping to build back better. No action yet on recommendations from review of the police force, and the Police Welfare Association expects expert advice to address unfair promotions within the police force. I am Kenny Williams with the Channel 5 News. Back with the details right after this.
M&J Covering is the producer of designed galvanized and galvalume in Dominica. They design to your specifications, color and length, 4 styles of galvanized and galvalume pre-painted roofing sheets as requested, and supply all your galvalume accessories. M&J Covering helps you control spending and reduce waste. At M&J Covering, they are also equipped to build your roof to precise standards anywhere on island. So come to M&J Covering at 1 Mile in Portsmouth or call 445-5001 275-5003 today.
Les moun ki ni TB estene e ben tousse, moun ki en bonne santé oli wen ka respire se vermin la. Moun ki pa ni bon tempérament kon sa ki ni maladie HIV, alcool, ka fume, ti mamay e grand moun bien sensible pour ces maladies ça là. Moun ki ka tousse ni pou prendre précaution le yo en parmi moun en place publique. Couvre bouche ou le ka estene tousse. Visitez docteur et ben place santé. Fini tout traitement yo ba ou sa joine guérison et puis maladie TB. En responsabilité ou aider du bout simen maladie TB et HIV. Protéger corps et les autres.
Thanks for staying with us. First up, the governments of Russia and Dominica are to sign a memorandum of understanding on emergency situations. On Friday, Minister for National Security Reuben Blackmore said the MOU will significantly help the country execute best practices in the area of emergency planning.
I want to say that we are looking forward to signing this memorandum of understanding between the government of Russia and Dominica that will set the platform for actually embarking on exchanges that speak to best practices in the area of emergency planning and aspects of mitigation. And I'm elated by the fact that Dr. Igor specializes in that area. I'm happy that you have actually visited some of the areas that were significantly ravaged by this hurricane. There's a long history of cooperation between Russia and Dominica in the area of improvement of human resource component. The number of Dominicans who have been educated in various contemporary disciplines in Russia at no cost to themselves and to the country. And for that, we are very grateful.
Representative from the Russian government says his country is committed to helping Dominica on its Build Back Better campaign.
We shall try to organize urgent expertise of the situation of some dangerous territories. As we called it, the whole title is risk assessment, including assessment of landslides, of shoreline risks of floods and the stone falling in the rivers, and so on and so forth. But first, the main, and we shall do this basing of the Memorandum of Understanding, which we together prepared, and I think that we shall try to sign this after the procedures on high level. And I think to do this in the first part of this year.
In more top stories, over 250 tons of relief supplies have been donated to the government of Dominica.
This contingent of supplies, valued at approximately $4 million, comes from the government of Russia. The shipment of 12 containers consists of construction material, 2 power stations, and 60 tons of food. A representative from the Russian government's Federation for Civil Defense, Emergency and Elimination of Consequences of Natural Disasters, EMACOM, was on hand for the presentation.
I can say that after the letter of the Prime Minister of Dominica, there was a positive reaction of our government, And our minister have an order from the 23rd of November to start organization of this humanitarian aid. Of course, in consultation with the government of Dominica, we make a list of goods we can send here. First, it's construction materials. Then you can see one of them, it's 2 power stations, which can work in the regions where just now electricity supply is not rebuilt. They are rather powerful. And also 60 tons of food.
Minister for National Security Raymond Blackmore says the donation of food items and building material will be useful, especially for communities still vulnerable post-Hurricane Maria.
I want to say, as we try to rebuild this country, food remains a very critical need for our people, especially in the vulnerable communities. Over 81% of the country's housing stock was seriously damaged by Hurricane Maria. A significant percentage of public buildings, namely our schools, health centers, police station, were destroyed. And therefore, the building material will go a long way in assisting us to repair not only those private public buildings, but private homes or houses that have been destroyed, especially for the vulnerable groups in our mix. So words are not enough to express our gratitude to you.
We continue with this item where Dominica's flagship healthcare service, its primary health care, continues to be developed post-Hurricane Maria. Speaking at a handing over ceremony of a clinic in Akan earlier this week, Permanent Secretary in the Ministry of Health, David Slayton, said the facility will significantly complement the delivery of primary health care services, which is of utmost importance to the Ministry of Health.
This clinic in Akan certainly is going to help to complement the activities that we are currently doing in primary health care. As you understand, our aim in primary health care is always to ensure that healthcare services is brought at the doorstep of people, and we don't want anybody to be left out. So certainly that would go a long way in ensuring that the people of Pichlin receive timely and quality healthcare services. We recognize that while the basics are there, but there's some additional infrastructure that we would have to put in as a Ministry of Health to make the people who are going to use it more comfortable, and that we are hoping to work towards. And we anticipate that in the next month, or even before that, the clinic will be erected in Pichlin. We have already cleared the land, and soon we will be getting into a contractual arrangement to get the rest of the facility completed so that the clinic can become operational.
Minister for Health, Dr. Kenneth Daru, says while the country is proud of its primary health care service, the health sector is still rebounding from the blow of Hurricane Maria.
Dominica prides itself, in fact, the health sector of Dominica, the flagship would be our primary health care service. In fact, our director at PAHO, Dr. Etienne, was one of the pioneers in making this possible. At the Ministry of Health, we continue. The health sector, like all the other sectors, took a major blow because of Hurricane Maria. A major blow, not just the infrastructure. A lot of our nurses would have left. A lot of our health personnel, nurses, registered nurses, among others, would have migrated to quote-unquote water greener pastures. So we have our work cut out for us.
The health facility was donated by Clinic in Akan and Biomedical International. You are watching the Channel 5 News. We'll have much more right after the break.
Do you need more cash for that home improvement? Then come to Fast Cash, where we give you more. At Fast Cash, our customers get more funds and more time to repay. But wait, can't come to us? We'll come to you, and our mobile officer will get you on your way. Small businesses, consumers, and taxi owners, Fast Cash has more for everyone. Simply call or visit any of our locations for more, smarter, faster, better. Fast Cash. Terms and conditions apply.
Rudolph Thomas Enterprise in Portsmouth, your suppliers of building materials and hardware products. Over 20 years experience in the business. Rudolph Thomas has lumber and plywood, galvanized and fenced pipe. Check out Rudolph Thomas for ceramic and vinyl floor and wall tiles, nails, nuts and bolts, paint and painting supplies. And check out their line of electrical and hand tools. Go now to Rudolph Thomas on 1240 Bay Street in Portsmouth.
Welcome back. A strategic review of the country's police force is complete and recommendations presented to National Security Minister for action.
Colonel Jamie Ogilvie of the Jamaica Defense Force led the team undertaking that assessment while here following Hurricane Maria. The Deputy Police Chief of Grenada and the country's Permanent Secretary in the Ministry of National Security, Justice and Immigration also formed part of the review panel. The exercise focused on assessing the functional services and effectiveness of the police force with a view to recommending modern policing functions and best practices. Minister for National Security, Justice and Immigration, Reuben Blackmore, said on DBS Focus on Government program Thursday night that he had received the report but thought it premature to discuss its recommendations.
That report was recently submitted. And I do not think at this time right now is appropriate without having looked at all the elements involved to speak to the specifics insofar as the recommendation is concerned. What I have to say is that the police force, especially within a democratic space, is answerable to the people in which it serves. And in that regard, police force has to be responsive to the needs of the people it serves.
The National Security Minister hinted of the need for change in the style of policing here.
You look at the current situation and compare it to what obtains 20 years ago. Communities have emerged. So you have to get to a point in the development, insofar as the police force is concerned, to put systems in place so that therefore there can be adequate coverage, understand, to the various communities. And as you've heard from us, from the Prime Minister, the recommendations will be looked at and, where appropriate, apply to ensure that we get the police force to the level it ought to be.
Blackmore, a former police officer himself, says it's necessary for public trust in the force to be restored.
There has to be the public trust. And then you have to also have systems in place to ensure that that public trust can be restored. And the whole issue of improving on capacity, insofar as the human resource component is concerned, in terms of other aspects of resources is concerned. So, it's absolutely important, therefore, that we get it right and to ensure that we have a police force that is efficient and that is effective.
In related news, Chairman of the Police Welfare Association, Jefferson Drygo, said he expects recommendations from the review will address the proper process for promotions within the police force. Corporal Drygo said he was interviewed at length during a strategic review of the force.
We are all waiting for the results of the review, so the recommendations of the review, I hope that the recommendations are carried out when they come and if they come. That's what we hope. That the recommendations will be carried out when it comes or if it comes.
Okay. Is there anything in particular you would like to see improve as a result of this process?
Well, as a result of this process, I would like to see the police administration redirect their efforts when it comes to promotion. This is one of the main problems, things that is bringing disunity among the rank and file.
Drago claimed for a long time promotions have been done in an unfair manner.
I understand that at every course, at every police course, every recruit course, in between there will be a shining star that will rise and get promoted within a few years. But it cannot be a thing that is happening every day. And the senior men that have worked hard in the police force, they are left to grapple in the dust. They are not being promoted. And this is one of the things we want to see change. The senior men, they have worked hard. They deserve some reward also. They deserve to get some responsibility to assist in the running of the police force.
The Police Service Commission is responsible for appointment of officers to hold or act in positions below the rank of Deputy Chief of Police.
You can challenge, but there are 13 criteria for promotion within the Constitution or the regulation for the police. And there are 13, and the two main criteria is service and experience, right? And if the administration is using these two, service and experience, we will have no problems within the rank and file of the police force.
Next up, a professor at New York's Columbia University traveled here on a humanitarian project to deliver solar lanterns to primary school students. Alice Min Soo-chan of Korean descent donated the lights designed by her to students of the Kalinago territory and the Rosa Primary, a Flow-adopted school. Flow's corporate communications executive, Fredina Frampton, presented Chun to the school on Friday.
This light, this is called the solar puff because it's solar and it's origami. And basically, I invented this because when I was a little girl, I used to fold paper all the time. And in Korea, the art of folding paper is about taking something that's nothing and making it into something beautiful. And so I was nothing. And now this is something. And we are helping people all over the world because I invented this after the Haiti earthquake to help people that had no electricity and no light at night.
Chun is an advocate for climate-smart power solutions.
Especially, I love children. I have a son that's 13 years old. And when he was born, he couldn't breathe very well because of the pollution that's in the air and because of climate change. Our children are not healthy because of climate change. So that's why I focused on the sun, because the sun is so powerful. Now, when I was trying to get this made, there were so many people that came to me and said, "You're not good enough. You can't do this. You're not smart enough. You don't have experience."
Meantime, Fredina Frampton assured the Rosa Primary School that telecommunications company Flow would continue to support their recovery efforts. The Rosa Primary is operated from the Teachers College building at Bath Estate since Hurricane Maria affected the school's building.
Once you're back at your location, your normal, regular school location, I can guarantee you that we will be there giving support to you as you attempt to return to regular school and to a life of what we're trying our best to get to here in Dominica, a life of normalcy. So I guarantee you that we at Flow are committed to assisting you and supporting you to getting things back to normal at your school.
That's news, your sports highlights. Next. First up in sports, Tyrone Theophile struck a century to help give Windward's Volcanoes a 52-run Duckworth-Lewis final qualifying win in the Super 50 Cup semi-finals against Guyana on Thursday. Playing at Coolidge Cricket Ground in Antigua, Volcanoes were sent into bat after losing the toss to score 286 for the loss of 7 wickets at a run rate of 7.72. Theophile, who struggled to get his momentum going in the tournament, scored 107, his maiden one-day century. His figures included 9 fours and 4 sixes. Kavem Hodge added a man-of-the-match deserving all-round performance to support with 57. Rama Luis did some damage for Guyana, taking 3 wickets for 54 runs. However, with rain interruptions in the day-night match, Guyana's inadequacies were soon realized when they were bowled out for 231 runs in 44.2 overs at a run rate of 5.21. Their batsmen showing some form of resistance were Sherfani Rutherford, 49, Versami Permal, 37, and Shivnarayan Chandapal, 34. Kavem Hodge picked up 3 wickets for 49 runs and Larry Edwards 2 wickets for 37 runs. With this win, Volcanoes will face Barbados Pride in the finals, scheduled for Antigua on Saturday. Locally, Dominica Cricket Association launches its first major competition this weekend since Hurricane Maria. The local governing body of the sport replaced the regular 2-day competition with a 50-over tournament. Earlier this month, DCA reported the change came as a result of Hurricane Maria and preparation for the upcoming senior men's tournament carded for May. Meantime, Marino Blasters Sports Club will go head-to-head against St. Paul Cricket Academy at Botanic Gardens. On Sunday at Benjamin's Park, Dublin United Stars will do battle with Nagico Stars, while over at Botanic Gardens, Granby Colts will come up against the Tremors. All matches are scheduled to begin at 10:30 a.m. Moving on to secondary school sports, we can tell you that there were mixed results for teams in the male and female categories of the volleyball championships on Thursday. Beginning with Dominica State College versus Castlebruce Secondary played at Castlebruce, where the home team went on to beat the visitors in straight sets 3-0. State College took a thrashing in the first set to go down 36-6. They showed some fight in the second set, but still went down to CBSS 25-22. Finally, CBSS sealed the win with 27-25 in the third set. Meantime, over at Marigot, Portsmouth Secondary Girls won 3-1 against Northeast Comprehensive School. Final scores 25-21, 18-25, 25-23, and 25-17. However, the boys of PSS soon learned that they couldn't follow in the footsteps of their female counterparts and went down to NECS 3-2. Final scores 22-25, 18-25, 25-16, 25-12, and 17-19. The league is scheduled to continue on Tuesday with PSS taking on Isaiah Thomas Secondary at Portsmouth from 2:30 p.m. in the girls category, to be followed by a match between the male teams of the same schools at 3:30 p.m. also at Portsmouth. PHL Secondary will play host to St. Mary's Academy in the boys category from 2:30 in the afternoon, while over at the SMA Hardcourt, Dominica State College and Dominica Grammar School will go head-to-head for the win in the male division at 2:30 p.m. To end the news, the headlines again. Government of Russia offers Dominica its hand in helping to build back better. No action yet on recommendations from review of the police force, and the Police Welfare Association expects expert advice to address unfair promotions within the police force. Feel free to contact us at news@marpin2k4.com. You can also access our past newscasts on our YouTube channel. On behalf of the entire production team, I am Kenny Williams. To all our viewers around the world, thank you for watching, and do have yourself an awesome weekend.